Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the interpretive naturalists with Summit Metro Parks. Today we're going to learn how spring has sprung. All right, we're going to start talking about a vernal pool. Many of you probably don't know what a vernal pool is, but it's actually an area of water that disappears later in the season, which is great because fish don't live here. But who does? Wood frogs, peepers. Can you hear all that noise? They're here enjoying this nice warm weather that we're having. And they're gonna start laying their eggs. And I wanna show you guys what is going on in these pools. So let's go. So next we're gonna learn about some of the tools we might use while we're out in the vernal pool. This is a dip net. And notice that the shape of the armature here is actually a D, like dip, starts with D, dip net. And what we do is we take it, we're gonna place it in the water and we're gonna pull it towards ourselves, lifting up the debris. So we place it in, see what we might catch, and pull it back. And we have all kinds of goodies in here. We'll let it drain out and then we're gonna sift through it. So cool, we found a fairy shrimp in our net. So notice how translucent parts of the body are. You can see parts up here moving. And that's how it's gonna kind of get around the lid that I have it in. Lower on the body is an egg sac full of what they call cysts, which are just the eggs. They will turn into little babies next year. Now, mom will not stay around for much longer. She can only handle 60-degree days and less or cooler. Once it gets warmer than that, they tend to disappear. So they only can handle that cool temperatures. So this is a really awesome creature to see at this time of year. While we're out here, we're gonna see some cool creatures that are amphibians. So amphibians that are out here might be a wood frog or a peeper. Sometimes there'll be green frogs a little bit later in the season. But right now I want to focus in on the wood frog because they're amazing in themselves. The actual look to a wood frog is kind of a tannish to reddish color of its body. Its eyes have a mask over them and they just look like a typical frog otherwise. They have a call that sounds like a duck, so you might hear that if we listen. And then they also do this really cool thing for winter. So a lot of animals we think of hibernating. Well, frogs do something similarly. They actually crawl into the ground and they sleep. They call it brumation, but it's so similar to hibernation. And these creatures can allow their body to almost fully freeze. And that's because of their liver turning things to sugars, making an antifreeze, which is really cool. So these guys can survive really harsh winters, and we can find them here today. So let's go take a look. So now we're on land and we're gonna look in the woods for some logs like these. These are perfect examples of what we need. We're gonna start rolling them and hopefully we'll find something like a red back salamander. So what we're gonna do is we have this log here and we wanna roll it, and we wanna roll it in a fashion that doesn't disturb too much underneath because this is an animal's home. So let me start rolling it towards me and let's see what we have. Oh, we have a worm crawling away. Oh, and right here we have another creature. This is this redback salamander. So it looks a lot like a worm, though it has little arms and legs. Very shiny because it likes moisture, because they're very moist skinned. Their tails can be broken off, so if a predator was to grab them, the predator eats the tail thinking it got a meal. And really cool fact is they can regrow their tail. So while hiking a trail, because spring has sprung, take a peek for this little flower, a little pot of gold along the trail's edge. It's Colts Foot. It looks very similar to dandelions. Colts Foot has lots of rays, or all those little petals coming off, and the stem has little leaves coming out from the sides, whereas a dandelion has a nice smooth stem and lots of rays, so they look a little different. There's also the leaves. Colts Foot won't have leaves until summer, and they're going to look like little horseshoes. Hence the name Colts Foot, which a colt is a baby boy horse. So take a peek the next time you're on the trail. So everything we found today are sure signs that spring has sprung. So I encourage you to go out to your park, take a hike, and see what's happening in your backyard.